Hello and welcome. I'm Geeta Mohan and you're watching World Today. Is the Netanyahu administration in trouble? As Israel still continues to wait for the remaining hostages to be released and pounds Gaza continuously saying it intends to wipe out the Hamas, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu faces a tough time saving his government. Israel's two ultra-Orthodox parties, United Torah Judaism and Shas, are on the verge of quitting, threatening the existence of Netanyahu's coalition government.
It is a test for the Israeli Prime Minister again. So far, many of his opponents have blamed him for using Gaza war tactics to remain in power. After the October 7th Hamas attack, there was a growing call for Bibi's resignation, but his government survived. But this time it is different. Israel's two ultra-Orthodox parties, United Torah Judaism and Shas, are on the verge of quitting, threatening the existence of Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition government. UTJ's legislators submitted their resignations, which takes effect within 48 hours. The exit of these ultra-Orthodox parties will challenge Netanyahu's numbers in the Knesset, but elections are not close. Earlier, leader of the ultra-UTJ party resigned from Netanyahu's government following Israeli parliament's rejection of a preliminary bill to dissolve itself. The motion, which could have paved the way for early elections, was defeated by a vote of 61 to 53. Recent polls suggest Netanyahu would likely lose if elections were held now. While the ultra-Orthodox seminar students have been exempted from mandatory military service, many Israelis are angry that it's unfair to other groups. The ultra-Orthodox Jewish leaders feel that young men will turn away from religion if drafted into military. The Shahs also said they are leaving the cabinet in protest against the failure to guarantee future exemption from military conscription for religious students. If the Shahs quit, the coalition will have 50 seats in the 120-seat Knesset. With Mahashweta Lala, Bureau Report, India Today.
Who are the Druze and why is Israel trying to save this community? This is leading to a clash between Israel and the new Syrian government that was brought to power after the fall of the Assad regime.
Syria's peace seems distant. After 14 years of civil unrest and the fall of Bashar al-Assad, Syria was trying to adapt itself to a normal life and a new government. But recent attacks from Israel have dented all hopes. After deadly clash between Druze militias and Sunni Bedouin fighters in southern Syria, Israeli military intervened, seeking to protect the Druze community. It serves as a warning to the Syrian army, as Israel eyes a demilitarized zone in the area. Israel also fears the presence of Islamist fighters along the Israel-occupied Golan Heights.
Our interests in Syria are known, limited and clear. First of all, to maintain the status quo in the southern Syrian region, which is also close to our border, and to prevent the development of threats against Israel in this area. The second thing, to prevent harm to the Druze community, with which we have a bold and strong relationship, with the Druze citizens here in Israel.
I hope that we can make some accommodation and create a rapport between us and the Syrians. But the leader of Syria has been, until very recently, ISIS. And we can't afford to have ISIS in control of Syria. So they have to understand that if they want to be safe and secured in the newer regime, they have to make the necessary accommodations and treat the minorities in Syria in a proper manner. Otherwise, we will not be able to sit still. We'll do everything that we can do in order to prevent any massacres in the Druze community.
But amid Israel's claim of protecting the Druze from Syrian government forces, the country's interim president has pledged to protect the rights of every community. He also blames Israel for sowing seeds of division.
I also address the Druze people who are an integral part of the fabric of this nation. Syria will never be a place for division or fragmentation or sowing discord among its people. We assure you that protecting your rights and freedom is one of our priorities, and we reject any effort that aims to drag you to an external party or to create division within our ranks.
The Israeli military struck the Ministry of Defense and the Syrian army headquarters in Damascus. But this has not been the first time. Israel has struck Syria earlier too with the sole purpose of stalling the new Syrian regime from building its military capabilities. As the Druze community fears for its security, scores of Israeli Druze are walking into the Syrian site to express their solidarity.
What's happening here today? We are seeing a large gathering of Druze from all over the country, from the Carmel, the Galilee, and also the Golan, who came to show support and express what you might call their opinion and solidarity with our Druze brothers on the other side, especially in the Druze stronghold of Sweda.
But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has urged the Druze from not going into the Syrian territory.
My brothers, the Druze citizens of Israel, the situation in Sweda, the situation in southern western Syria is very serious. The IDF is operating, their force is operating, the other forces are operating. We are acting to save our Druze brothers and to eliminate the regime's gangs. And now I have one request from you. You are citizens of Israel. Do not cross the border. You are endangering your lives. You could be killed. You could be kidnapped. And you are harming the IDF's efforts. Therefore, I ask you, return to your homes. Let the IDF act.
Conflict and end to the...
Meanwhile, US has called for a de-escalation and withdrawal of Syrian and Israeli troops.
Well, certainly an end to the conflict, an end to the nature of the violence that is happening, an Israeli withdrawal, a Syrian government withdrawal from the area as well.
For now, the Druze community belonging to an Arab sect who primarily live in Syria, Lebanon and Israel have a moment to breathe. As Syrian government forces are withdrawing from the region of Sweda as part of a ceasefire deal with the community. Mahashweta Lala, Bureau Report, India Today.
This is the big story we've been tracking to discuss what's happening on the ground and how is Israel reacting to the situation. I'm being joined from Tel Aviv by Brigadier General Yossi Kapurwasser, who is the head of JISS, Jerusalem Institute for Strategy and Security. Thank you so much, General, for joining me over here. Let's begin with the situation on the ground. Was there an assessment made by the Israeli agencies when Assad was toppled and al-Shara was coming to power, knowing very well that he also belongs to and represents a very extreme faction?
Thank you for having me. Good evening. Well, I think that our assumption when Shara took power was that he should be taken with a lot of caution from our side, because of his past and because of the fact that he was very clear on his negative approach towards Israel when he was a jihadist. And because of that, we didn't have much expectations from him. And we were worried also that the jihadists will harm the minorities, including the Druze minority, the Kurd minority, and the Alawite minority, amongst others. And this was our concern at the time, and we said all along the way that we shouldn't rush and lift the sanctions over Syria and do all kinds of things, all kinds of gestures towards Shara before we can be sure that he really has changed and he has adopted a new policy. And this last event in Sweda tells you that we were right in being cautious about it. Because the fact is that troops that belong to the jihadist groups were involved in this attempt to massacre the Druze community in the Sueda area, just opposite to the border with Israel. And they pose a threat not only to the Druze community, but also to us, to the Israelis living nearby. So that's something that we have to take into account. What we did on the ground was we took action against the troops that were trying to do that, the terrorists that were trying to do that. And we took action against the targets in Damascus in order to convey a clear message to Shara. We shall not accept this kind of activities, and he has to reach a ceasefire with the Druze community and be determined to secure them and make sure that they are not in harm's way.
How important, General, how important is the Druze community in Syria for Israel and for Israel's security, to have that stable region, stabilized region at the border where Israel is already fighting at many fronts, including the Netanyahu administration focused on the release of hostages as well?
Well, they are important because we have a large community of Druze inside Israel that fight in the hold key positions in the military and fight in the combat units of the Israeli Defense Forces. And there's a commitment on behalf of Israel to the Druze community and to the brothers of the Druze community that live in Syria. We have a commitment to their security and safety. We made it clear all the way that we are committed to that. And that's why it's important also from our point of view to make sure that everybody realizes that when we make a commitment, we mean it. And that's why we had to take action in order to protect the Druze community and also to protect us, because if the jihadists will take over the southern part of Syria, it's going to be a threat to our security as well. So we are helping the Druze, but we are helping ourselves at the same time. We have to understand that this area is used by all kinds of terrorist groups. We just recently arrested two squads of Iranian-led, Iranian-affiliated squads in southern Syria. It's not only the jihadists from the Sunni side, but also some Shiites that are operating there, and we have to make sure that this area is safe and there's no presence of terrorists of all kinds in this territory.
Right, a very critical front. We'll have to see how things pan out in the coming days. Brigadier General Cooper Waso, thank you so much for joining us here on the network.
Thank you.
Now, Reham Khan, ex-wife of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan, announced the launch of her political party, Pakistan Republic Party. This marks her official entry into politics in Pakistan. Reham Khan said the party will be the voice of the people and hold the ruling government accountable. The party has been founded following discontentment in Pakistan's politics. She said the party intends to replace all the big political party. Khan is also expected to launch her party's manifesto very soon. Meanwhile, former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has complained of harsh treatment inside the jail. He has also appealed to his party members to hold Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir accountable should something happen to him. The former Prime Minister, who was voted out of power through a no-confidence motion, claimed a colonel and the jail superintendent were carrying out actions on the orders of Asim Munir. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan had previously said he was caged like a terrorist in a death cell. Imran Khan's party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, plans a nationwide protest pressurizing the Shehbaz Sharif government to release Imran Khan from prison. The protests are likely to be led by Imran Khan's sons, Suleiman Isa Khan and Qasim Khan, who have so far distanced themselves from dabbling in politics of Pakistan. Donald Trump's claim that Coca-Cola has agreed to use real cane sugar in its drinks sold in the U.S. instead of corn syrup as a part of his Make America Great Again campaign, while Coca-Cola is yet to confirm the announcement, has triggered a debate of corn syrup versus cane sugar. India Today's Sneha Mordani breaks it down for us.
If the US president were to have his way, then the highly popular fructose corn syrup in Coca-Cola would be soon replaced by cane sugar. President Donald Trump, known to be addicted to Coca-Cola, specifically Diet Coke, now seems to be acknowledging the problems associated with the fizzy drink, instructing Coca-Cola to replace fructose corn syrup with cane sugar. Fact is, there is opposition from within. Trump's health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has voiced concern about the ingredients and the health impacts. The US health secretary has also been critical of the amount of sugar Americans consume and had plans to update nationwide dietary guidelines this year. Approximately 41.9% of adults in the United States have obesity and about 9.2% have severe obesity, according to the CDC, and this is a worry upon the health department. Trump is a regular drinker of Diet Coke, which uses the artificial sweetener aspartame. He had a button installed in the Oval Office's Resolute desk so he can be served the soda. He drinks up to 12 cans a day. Coke sold in the US is typically sweetened with corn syrup. Coke in other countries such as Mexico, the United Kingdom, and Australia, and in India use cane sugar. The beverage giant has declined to either confirm or deny change to ingredients in its signature soft drink.
Research has pointed out towards this direction, that cane sugar is derived from sugar cane, corn syrup is derived from corn starch. Pretty much the same when it comes to the body's response to these products when people drink Coca-Cola. Well, the fact of the matter is that it has the same ditto response on insulin resistance and also on a feeling of fullness when you consume this beverage, and also body weight gain, essentially on weight gain.
Cane sugar derived from sugarcane or sugar beets. High fructose corn syrup is made from cornstarch. When comparing equal amounts of cane sugar and HFCS, research suggests that they have similar effects on feelings of fullness, insulin response, and body weight. In other words, both are the same.
I don't think it makes any difference as far as negative health impacts of drinking cola are concerned, which are more likely on obesity and diabetes kind of things.
And talking about the difference between the two, the composition of the two sugars is nearly the same. It is both are composed of a combination of glucose and fructose. Nutritionally, they are the same. High fructose corn syrup will be equally as damaging to your body as cane sugar.
The real nutritional benefits can only be obtained by consuming fewer sugary foods and drinks. High intake of sugars from any sources can lead to weight gain, inflammation, insulin resistance, diabetes, fatty liver, cancers, and many more.
What this move will perhaps end up doing is hurt American corn farmers other than reaping any health benefits. Corn farmers are upset with this announcement. The president himself, hooked to Diet Coke, uses aspartame, already flagged off as a problematic ingredient by the WHO. So this move, experts say, will only change the taste of Coca-Cola in the United States and do nothing for the highly obese population in the country. A Coke using any form of sugar is still Coke. In New Delhi, Sneha Murdani for India Today TV.
Is US First Lady Melania Trump a secret agent who turned Donald Trump against Russian President Vladimir Putin? Yes, if social media is to be believed. Melania became a hero for Ukrainians and became the subject of Agent Melania Trumpenko memes after Trump credited her with questioning Putin's action. Ukrainians have a new agent to thank, Agent Melania Trumpenko. The First Lady of the US has now entered memedom after US President Donald Trump said floaters played a key role in his apparent shift in attitude towards Russia and its President Vladimir Putin. The enko suffix being attached to Melania is a common Ukrainian patronymic, often meaning descendant of or son of. Slovenian-born Melania Trump, who grew up in the former Yugoslavia, has long appeared more supportive of Ukraine than her husband, who in February this year even called Volodymyr Zelensky a dictator. Yugoslavia, including Slovenia, broke away from the Soviet Union in 1948. Slovenia attained independence from Yugoslavia in 1991. Shortly after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Melania urged her social media followers to donate to the Red Cross, calling it heartbreaking and horrific to see innocent people suffering. Now, Prince Harry followed his mother, Princess Diana's footsteps during a revisit to Angola's minefields. He recreated her iconic walk past skull and crossbones warning signs. During the visit, Prince Harry joined a kids' safety class where he repeated phrases in Portuguese to prevent kids from detonating lethal devices left behind from the civil war, which ended in 2002. The Duke of Sussex also worked with local deminers and participated in a demolition of 2 anti-tank mines. Harry's visit is part of his mission to raise awareness of the Halo Trust's work to clear landmines, which is estimated to have killed or injured about tens of thousands of Angolans during and after the country's 27-year civil war. That's all in this edition of World Today.